Hugo, how lovely to meet you. I'd like to begin by having a little bit of background on who TTMx is, where you've come from. We haven't heard of you, but it sounds like a very important organization in light of this new tax that is being implemented in Baja California Sur. So tell me a bit about the company.
Well, first of all, Nina, thank you. Thank you, you and the Open Yacht team for the opportunity to share important initiative with your audience. Now, answering your question, Tourist Tax Mexico was founded 2 years ago, and it is a Mexican company that provides technological and administrative solutions for a efficient collection of tourist taxes and foreign travelers through a digital payment platform,
Right.
and it is powered by Travelcore. In addition to offering tourist services at many destinations in Mexico.
Okay, so you are now the organization that is handling all of the tax for that particular state, correct?
Yeah, correct. We are working solely on Baja California Sur,
Okay, so
and
just on Baja for now.
for now.
So there is the potential that you would move into other areas. I would imagine that that's part of the plan, but you probably can't tell me anything about that just yet, right?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, strategically, that's the plan,
Okay.
and we look forward to finding those opportunities.
Now, globally, there's a large move towards countries, cities, even just ports implementing taxes on visitors. For the most part, it tends to be to quell the onslaught of tourism, as they call, over tourism, especially in Europe and some of the cruise ports and very popular areas. Now, that isn't the case, obviously, in Baja because you still have a lot of room for tourism. So tell me a little bit about what the funds are being used for and why the decision was made to charge a visitor tax.
Okay, well, the fact is that the funds collected through Embrace It, and we will talk about Embrace It later, will be managed through a dedicated trust, and that demonstrates the government commitment to transparency and accountability. This structure ensures that resources are protected, traceable, and used exclusively for environmental preservation, infrastructure improvement, and development of communities in Baja California Sur.
It's interesting because it tended to be a very Western Canada, um, you know, destination for a very, very long time. And then the lift started from Eastern Canada. And now it has a very high profile in the Canadian market over the last 5 years. I'd say it's really seen big, marketing pushes, development, bigger numbers. So I can see that there's, this initiative to ensure that you develop in a intelligent fashion, that the environment isn't damaged. But for those of us in the industry, it ends up being sort of one more tax that we have to consider in selling destinations. So that's why I'm trying to understand, what the impetus here is for the tax.
The primary goal of the tax is to ensure environmental preservation
Yeah.
and infrastructure. So it supports social and cultural projects in Baja California. So and as I mentioned before, given it's a fund, a trusted fund, so it's clear that we are going to, or Baja, it's going to grow even more with tourist experiences, right?
Right, infrastructure, et cetera.
Mhm.
Interesting. What I want to ask you is, you're very well aware, I'm sure, that there was a tax imposed, the visit tax in Quintana Roo, and the industry ended up having a lot of questions about the enforcement of the tax because you'd hear about people traveling to Cancun, nobody asking them, nobody stopping them. So there was chatter that, you don't have to bother paying it. And is that a concern here in Baja?
No, absolutely not. The most important distinction is that Tourist Tax Mexico right now is exclusively focused on Baja California Sur. Now, as I mentioned, the tax will be enforced through a digital payment platform. Foreign travelers will be required to present proof of payment via QR and
A QR code. Yeah,
yeah.
a QR code that they get similar to the other. Okay, fair enough. And that has to be shown at entry and exit points, correct?
Exactly. And also we're working, closely with local authorities and tourist partners to ensure consistent enforcement and clear communication. That's our number one strategy, clear communication.
In the other state, in the sister state in Quintana Roo, there was basically one entry point for the most part, other than the Tulum airport, but most of it was off aircraft or on back onto aircraft through Cancun. Now, in your case, you've got a lot of drive traffic from the
Right.
US markets, and the expectation is that they would be paying the tax and showing the QR code, I would imagine, correct?
Yeah, actually, there's gonna be, the airport is that like number one spot to to get those tourism, and but also on highways. So Baja people from U.S. and Canada, drive down Baja California and then goes to Baja California Sur. So
Right.
uh, we're working with the government to have those checkpoints, in basically in highways also.
Okay. It's interesting that you call it embrace it, and it's a nice name for something that requires a bit of a, well, it's not expensive, actually. We should probably cover that, right? So it's approximately 25 American dollars and approximately 33 Canadian dollars. Is that correct, per
Yeah,
person? Yeah.
that's correct. That's correct. And embrace it. I think it's shows confidence and trust. So it's a mandatory tax. All foreign travelers staying more than 24 hours will be required to pay that amount, 470 pesos, around 25 US dollars.
And that's only if they stay for longer than 24 hours, correct? So if you're
Exactly.
just sort of going to drop something off, I mean, it's not necessarily the norm, but if you are, you don't pay the tax if you're only there for a couple of hours. Okay, fair enough. Well, I look forward to seeing the results because I imagine you talk about the fund and the trust fund that the dollars are going to be kept in. I would imagine there are some specific initiatives that will be earmarked for those funds. And I look forward to seeing, how projects will be developed to, obviously encourage tourism, but at the same time protect the environment, which is so important in that part of the world. I mean, I think about the whales, the views, the ocean, the rocks, the jungles. It's all, it's magical. Really, Mexico has that element of magic, and it's so important to maintain that.
Yeah, I mean, our goal obviously is to deliver a smooth and responsible experience. And now that the system is up and running, our next step or the next step is to continuously monitor, the results. And obviously, we will publish probably newsletters to show the industry and to show tourists how those resources are being used.
Okay. Well, I look forward to hearing more from you on the topic. Thank you so much for your time, Ugo.
Thank you, Nina. It was a pleasure talking to you.